exciting and new. Come aboard, we're expecting you and love, life's sweetest reward. Let it flow, it floats back to you.
You are far smarter than you can ever imagine. There is no obstacle that you cannot overcome, no problem that you cannot solve, and no goal that you cannot achieve by applying your mind to your situation.
Go on and
my mic on? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? I'm in the studio. I'm in the studio. Hey, it's Monday. What up, though? If you see my ugly face, it must be time for Real Talk Uncensored. And this morning, to my right, it's PJ. What up, though?
What's going on?
Yeah, I got quite a few people to come in this morning in Tone's absence. So I have my other person that's
Shout
here,
out to Tone. Hope you enjoying yourself.
Look. Come on in. We thought she was going to come around that way, but that's cute.
I know, I'm sorry.
Look, she's a teenager. She's a millennial. Good morning. Good morning, Pootie Poo. Happy Valentine's Day and whatnot. We got one more person that's going to be joining us, but I guess traffic is an issue this morning. That's okay. Mm-hmm. In respect to, in honor of Valentine's Day, we have White Chocolate here with us today. Good morning, White Chocolate. Yeah, Tone is Cancun and ATV right now, so we're going to have a very good show. He's going to join in at some point today, but before we get started, I wanted to start out giving the Block Burners Nation my sincerest condolences from the show, and if we could do a few minutes of silence for Beans, I just to give a moment of silence for them, if y'all can. 5 seconds, please. Rest in peace, Beans.
Rest in peace.
That hit me like a ton of bricks yesterday. Beans will forever be missed. He was a presence that you just couldn't deny. If you ever encounter him at their party, he was standing on something dancing. He was like, ha! That was his whole thing. All the time, ha! He will be missed.
Yeah.
You ever meet him before?
Probably once or twice, but Never really had a conversation, but he, like you said, presence. I always knew he was in the room.
Yes.
And
Yes.
yeah, my timeline was heavily affected. So when I see a lot of my friends going through a lot of grieving like that on my timeline, you know, majority of everybody on my timeline, that just let me know that that person was a great person, and it affected a lot of people. So I'm grieving through association for y'all.
Okay. If you see a block burner, give a block burner a hug. That nation, you know, they've been heavily hit lately. So the community, we got your back. You need us. You know we always here. Shout us out. If y'all see one, hug one. London.
Hey.
Hi. Guess
how's
who's
it
back?
Well, I ain't see you in so long.
I know. It's been a minute.
How about them Rams though? Just saying.
This is y'all topic. Y'all know I don't be in no sports.
White chocolate. White chocolate. Did I not tell y'all ass last week? Did I not tell y'all? No.
Okay. What?
Let's talk about the game. Did you watch it?
Yeah.
Okay, did they confirm whatever my boyfriend's injury was? Because he seemed to have hurt himself last night. ODB.
As of right now, I think they really haven't confirmed what it was, but the way I saw it, it looked. I know it was around the knee area because I've seen that. I've had that knee buckle before. It's not cool. So there's no proper confirmation of what it was. So because hey, everyone's celebrating.
Yeah.
So, but
Did you see the ugly cry? Did you see the ugly cry?
I saw his ugly cry. I saw Arnold's ugly cry. Everybody was crying. Probably Stafford's wife was crying. You know,
all their kids.
Yeah, all their kids. Everybody was crying. And it's like, yeah, Brandon, whatever. So it was. I honestly, it was a good game. I'll give it that. I think the refs got involved late into this one. And what helped the Rams and what hurt the Bengals was the Bengals' offensive line.
That was clear.
7 sacks makes no sense. And but I give all credit to I actually, to be honest with you, I'm glad Coop was the MVP and not Stafford because
Stafford would look like he wanted to throw the game away.
Yeah, that's the thing.
He kept the Bengals in the game.
He did.
Yeah, so I felt that the Bengals, if the Bengals would have won, I was voting for Higgins because he caught those 2 touchdowns.
Okay.
And the Rams, since the Rams won, I'm glad Coop won because it just, if they gave that to one of those quarterbacks, it's like those guys were not doing anything.
No. I looked at it like it's a win for Detroit, like via.
How does Detroit get involved in this?
I just listen.
You sound like every Lions fan.
Don't I?
All of Detroit is like, Stafford won. It's like, yeah, so not for us.
Pretty sure the Giants ain't like ODB.
Yes. Actually, there is a on the network. 3 the Hard Way's True. She's a Giants fan, pretty much. I think an OBJ fan because I know her. She was posting a lot of his pictures and all that stuff. You know, after he won. So I was like, okay, you won that. All
I was fangirling on him like when they won their playoff. I was a whole fangirl. Like and I'm late on him. I never was a.
So let me ask you this question then. So when Stafford threw that first touchdown, were you like his wife, trying to find someone to hug and it's like, oh yeah, he scored, and all that stuff?
No.
Loudest one in the room.
Yes.
Loudest one in the room.
But Cooper Kupp.
You talk about a guy who doesn't talk.
Yeah.
He just does not. I mean, he's just like.
He a fine non-melanated person. He's fine. I don't be looking for people. It's just 1 or 2 people that I check for.
With or without the Grizzly Adams look.
I like the Grizzly Adams things. I like it.
You think if Cooper Kupp was black, he'd get more publicity?
Yeah, I think so.
No. I think he's just
still gets
quiet.
slept on.
He's just quiet. And a lot of quiet. I mean, Art Monk was quiet when he played. I mean, he's a quiet dude, so which is fine.
First of all, Art Monk wasn't fine. He's not fine. So anyway.
Okay.
I don't know. I just think in the middle of him having one of the greatest wide receiver seasons, I was listening to on a sports radio show, and they was like, "Would you take Cooper? Is Cooper Kupp the number 1 receiver in the league?" His stats showed that he was the number 1 receiver this year. But people was like, "No, I'll take Devontae Adams. I'll take all these other people."
They'll take loud guys.
I'm like, I wonder if Cooper Kupp was black. Like, is it just me or white just look real slow on the field? And so people just assume
But
and
when
they put
they
these
big-
stereotypes on white football players at
For-
skill positions.
To me, and look, Tony's here, out of control, said, the hell is he doing in my chair?
Oh, my bad.
Gotta keep it warm somehow.
You gotta keep it warm while you're ATVing. I look at it like I can't differentiate. I can always tell a tight end. Okay, except for Steelers, they got too many of them. But I can always tell a tight end because Travis Kelce, Cooper Kupp,
Cattle.
yes,
Mark Andrews.
They all kind of built alike. They all extremely tall. They all kind of. You put the same jersey on Cooper Kupp, and you could swear that that's Travis Kelce.
Either that or they're Wes Welker, Danny
Little bitty joints.
slot receivers. You rarely see a number one white receiver that will shake the whole team because he somehow, some way catches the ball and always picks up 5 to 10 yards after the catch.
Because
Right.
I used to always tease and say that Wes Welker could catch sunlight. Like I don't give a fuck what you throw at him. He was catching that shit, and I feel the same way about Kupp. Like wherever he is, and Travis a dog too. Like whatever you throw at him, he's catching. He's catching.
Survey question:
Yes.
was there more yelling and screaming during the game or during the halftime
During
show?
the halftime show, I was getting to that. Did you enjoy it? You didn't. You didn't enjoy it. Look.
I just thought it was there. I mean, I like Mary's performance. I liked her look. I was
Hey,
glad she
J-Lo.
sang "No Drama." That was one of my favorite songs. But everything,
For Mary?
yeah, I really like
my
"No
God,
Drama."
You're such a white man.
Eminem, I thought, the whole kneeling, I thought, respectful because he knows what time it is.
Yep.
I didn't know 50 Cent was there because I missed the beginning part of it, so I saw him in the background.
You ain't seeing when he was hanging upside down, baby.
Yeah.
He just redid the video. That's young.
Well, I heard he look. Yeah, I heard he looked like Winnie the Pooh.
They say he'll hold $1 now. He
It's
ain't-
already memes. It's already
Yeah,
memes
but
all over
50
the internet. Yes.
Yeah.
they say he eating good
He a
off the
dollar
power
now.
checks.
So honestly, I thought everyone saying it's the greatest ever. To me, I'm like, I would say maybe around below the bottom top 10.
Wow, I think it's up there.
Really?
Yeah.
I think it's behind Michael and Prince.
No.
Behind. Who's
No.
above that? Bruno Mars
Prince.
was good,
Prince
too.
is number one, regardless.
No, I said behind.
No, that's what I see. Further, but no, way behind.
He's
him.
saying like no, not
No,
close.
not
You're
that
not even
close.
giving it top 5.
Beyonce. What you think about Beyonce? Beyonce is up there.
My top
course.
5 has always been, well, let's say top 3 has been Prince is number 1, Michael
Yep.
will be number 2,
Yep.
J-Lo and Shakiro's number 3. That's mine. So, but this, I would say, I'll have it in the top 10,
Black
but
History
not that
Month.
high.
It's like,
Say it, London.
it's Black History Month. Come on. It's like,
I-
no.
I-
I'm kidding.
I put it up there. I like Janet. Janet was
I
good.
respect his choices, though.
You gotta say
That
Janet
one.
and Justin.
Yeah, Janet would be
I
out-
would not
yeah.
say that guy's name.
You gotta say Justin.
Nah, he-
I ain't,
nah.
Yeah, that was Janet's show with Justin
Nah, he
Stolen.
ain't getting nothing from me either. I agree with PJ.
Janet was good. Bruno Mars was good. And I think this rap one was good. But number 1 and number 2 is definitely Prince. Prince in the Rain, doing the guitar, doing Purple Rain was like
Yeah, you can't beat
perfect.
that. You
it was the
cannot beat
perfect
that.
one. And
Nobody saying Beyonce.
No.
Nah, man.
I mean, 'cause
You did it twice,
Beachella,
and almost
like,
back to back.
Okay. You know what I'm saying? It's
Yeah.
like oversaturated with Beyonce. I love her. I'm not a part of the Beehive. Everybody going to attack me in the comments. That's fine.
I'll protect
But I
you.
feel
Trust me. The
it's
Beehive is
repetitive
nothing.
a little bit. Like the stuff she do is a little bit repetitive. You see
Yeah.
the same material. You do the same moves. Like I would just say like Beachella aside. If she'd have pulled one of them at the Super Bowl, I would have respected it just a little bit more. I would have liked it a little bit more. But her at the Super Bowl, it was just like, all right,
Yeah.
man. It's sorry, Mom.
It was good.
like,
it just wasn't.
oh.
It was good. It just wasn't up
It
there.
just wasn't.
Yeah.
It was another Beyonce performance.
Was
Like,
that-
that's how I took it.
Who was that? What was the white band who did it? Was it B-52? Not B-52. Who was the white people? The really everybody likes him. He's the front man.
Aerosmith.
Maroon.
Maroon 5. Was it Maroon
5?
5? I like them.
Okay.
They did a good job.
They
like,
do a good job.
That's
Yeah.
kind of in mind.
Yeah.
Hey, raise your hand if y'all if him playing the Love Boat threw y'all the fuck off. Like that was our new opening song. Look,
Just for today. Just
out of
for
control.
today.
Did you like the Love Boat song? I need y'all to do me a favor too and stop and like and share this right now and download the app. We have
Just 3 more weeks.
We got 3 more. How do we go from 2 months to 3 weeks?
Talk to Mother Nature or Father Time. I don't know.
Father Time.
It's already about to be March.
Yeah.
Okay.
2022 needs to
So-
slow down.
London PJ and white chocolate. Valentine's Day. Is it another day?
Yes, it is.
Yes.
Is it overrated?
Half and half. Half of it is overrated. I think the other half is just it's another day.
Give me the half that's overrated.
The half that's overrated, like, okay, I'm a part of the overrated crew because I was there in the Dollar Tree yesterday last minute. Steph, please don't be watching this. I was in the Dollar Tree last minute getting my balloons and stuff, but it's just like when it comes to Valentine's Day, I think people are caught up on the profitable part of it, like spending extra amounts of money instead of really putting thought and stuff into it.
Yeah.
It's just it's another holiday or another day where you spend a whole bunch of money on your partner. You throw them balloons in the trash. You throw them roses and stuff in the trash. And that's why I think it becomes overrated because you spend money you don't need to. Like, you could put more thought into it. You could do certain things. I'm half and half. I spend money on Valentine's Day, but then I also put thoughts into my gifts and make stuff and I guess keep it true to the holiday. Like, it's a deep appreciation for the person that you with, or it could be a deep appreciation for other
Your
people.
mother. For your mom.
Girl, look, all your fans on it, they're gonna send you roses and all your flowers. Please,
It's a deep appreciation for your mom.
it's a deep appreciation for everybody in your life that you really love and care for, or you just be like, yeah, dear. If nobody told you today, I really love you. You know.
Anisha
Here,
said it's
take these
overrated
balloons.
too.
Huh?
Anisha said it's overrated.
Yeah.
PJ, are you a Valentine's Day person?
Not really. I think it is overrated. I think social media made it worse.
Yes.
Mainly because I'm kind of like on a half and half too, because I do go out, I buy the flowers, I do all that stuff, and
Valentine's happy
I
hour
buy my
thing.
mother flowers, buy the cards.
That's
I
sweet.
think it all depends on which level of your relationship that you in. Like, say if you just started dating, you use
Go
this
hard, go
holiday
off.
because you don't have
Yeah.
history.
Really?
You don't have history to really bounce off of, so you can use that day to start something. Now, if you've been married for God knows when, that saying that Valentine's Day is really every day, it should feel like that. But you know, you could do a little bit extra on the day. You just got to be more creative. I like
Be
the
creative
creative
and
thought.
mindful.
I used to do poetry and stuff like that. The cards and the stuff get thrown away. When I was doing poetry and stuff like that, it was the best gift to certain people. So
J Blood said, "Is it overrated because you're single?"
no, because I've been in relationships during Valentine's Day, and I've bought the cards and all that. The next thing I realized, like,
When I was single, I was still getting gifts from friends and family and secret admirers, I suppose. So they took a dig. That was a dig. That was a dig. Like,
that's definitely a trigger.
Jesus Christ.
You triggered you. I'm all with it. Like, if the person that I'm with is with it, I'm with it. Like, it is not an expectation for me, but if that's how you feel about me, like, bring it. And that's a open invitation. If you like me, if you fuck with me, if you appreciate me, or you're my secret admirer, please, I'm accepting gifts still. Just don't be scared. Give it to me. I'm just one of those people. Like, if you want to do it, you want to do it. Like, to me, I feel like time and like cooking something to me, because going out amongst everyone, like, you ain't gonna be able to get nowhere today.
Nah, you not. I love the concept of I love the concept of the holiday. It's just, I think social media has kind of ruined it, because certain individuals, unfortunately, like holidays that you give gifts like Christmas, Mother's Day, Father's Day, Valentine's Day, and stuff like that. People tend to base how much you like them, how good a gift is, on how many likes they get on social media. They're so quick to post it and put it in each other's face. You know, you remember how like back in the day in the office, used to be like, who got the most balloons in the office? Now the office is social media. The office is Facebook. Who can I get enough likes? If you give me a gift, I get 2 likes. It wasn't a good gift. And certain people
no, then you be pissed off and you be trying to check your man like this ring not big enough, whatever. But to me, I feel like people they perpetrate a fraud too. People going to the dollar store last night and buy some stuff. Not just saying you, but people go to the dollar store and they do that and no one gave them anything.
Oh, they buy it for themselves.
They buy it for themselves just so they can post it
too.
Did
like
you?
In college, I used to decorate my dorm room. I used to really just buy myself my own stuff.
You don't send yourself flowers though.
No, that's weird.
That's
too much self love. Like I would just grow my own. I'm not gonna. I don't know. That's scary. I wouldn't do that.
T-Mac said it should be celebrated big the first time, not so much after that. I do something on that day for my man, but we agreed that if we treat each other well during the year, then a nice dinner is good. A small gesture is fine.
A small gesture is absolutely fine. I agree.
Just time for me. Just come spend time. That's all.
That's literally all I want. I mean, if you want to buy me stuff too, that's also fine. But quality time means the most to me as far as Valentine's Day is concerned. Yeah. And it's the thought that you put into something. Like, if you buy me the same thing like, first of all, I'm going to just say this, and no offense to anybody who do this, you better not buy me no basket off the side of the street that everybody else got. Because we're going to fight. We have to fight. Don't buy me no basket off the side of the street with the same generic teddy bear. Like, it's no thought behind that.
Because your coworker got the same one.
I'm going to go ahead and get that to somebody else. Like, I'm going to get that to my other coworker.
Your coworker man did the same thing. So y'all come in the office and both y'all got the same basket. Like, that's embarrassing.
Yeah, don't do that. No.
Mo said a card with a message from the heart is enough.
Yes.
That lasts forever.
Well, make me some chocolate covered strawberries.
I just think people don't want to be lonely on Valentine's. Like, if you got you got somebody you dating or you with somebody, lonely should not be an option for Valentine's Day.
Just go on Tinder if that's the case. If you lonely, just go on Tinder.
I heard people getting finessed on there. I'm not too sure if people want to go to Tinder.
Shoot, I don't know. These new age kids.
Really? So shall we go here and just open the wounds up for the people who got something yesterday, or people who get something tomorrow because they man belong to somebody or they woman belong to somebody.
Oh, he in the studio. He in the studio tonight. He working on the tracks.
He working
on the tracks. I'll be home, babe. It's doing it all night at the studio.
Don't stay up for me.
Ain't heard from him all day. He sent a text today on the 14th. Ain't heard from him. But yesterday he was blowing your phone up. And tomorrow he'll do it again for those people. Do we have a song for them? Like, give a moment of silence for those people. I'm sorry. Does that mean anything though? If you get something on the 13th or the 15th, does that mean anything? No, keep it 100. I mean, keep it 100. And tomorrow, no one's gonna be posting shit because we already understand your position in that relationship.
You better be at work on the 14th. If I hear from you the day before, the day after, you better be at work all day. You better have 2 jobs on the 14th. I gotta hear something. If you my partner, I gotta hear something. A good morning.
Now doing something like, say if it's like today, it falls on a Monday. A lot of Valentine's dinners, couples dinners, and stuff like that was on Saturday and Sunday, because
of the holiday.
Because of the holiday, yeah. So, well, not Sunday because of the Super Bowl, but Friday and Saturday. Now, if it's that situation, I'm cool with that. We'll go do that, and then we'll chill, relax, enjoy each other company on Monday. But
can your sneaky link? I mean, do you give a gift to your sneaky link?
Your sneaky link?
Yes. We don't love these hoes.
No,
we don't love these
keep
hoes.
Your sneaky link. You better send some flowers. Go stop by the corner and get that basket.
Go ahead. Yeah, they probably get a basket at the most. A little gift card. I don't know.
Can I ask your sneaky link expect a gift?
No.
I mean, I don't have sneaky links, and I've never partook in such buffoonery, so I cannot answer that.
Never partook in the sneaky link.
I've never partook in the sneaky linkage. Never.
You have.
I don't waste my time like that.
I know you have because you got a beard. First of all, go ahead. You got a beard. You got a beard. So, did you give gifts to your sneaky links?
I don't have no sneaky links.
You got a beard. That's and locks. So you a liar already.
Look at the camera and say that. Look at which camera? This blue one right here. This one right here. Look at the camera and say that. This one right there.
Right there.
Look at that camera.
Mm-hmm. He blinked.
You see it? You see that?
blinked.
Look, if you are PJ Sneaky Link, he better get you something. And if you get something, expect it.
I don't even get. But you know what's funny? I don't really get shit. I've probably only one person that really ever gave me anything for
You're a
Valentine's
giver,
Day.
though.
Shit, I like to receive too.
He said that. And you
PJ
did.
quote.
Look, I don't know what you just did
Write a
there.
letter, a card or something.
It's Libras. I think it's just it's Libras. It's a Libra thing.
T-Mac
Anyway,
said last year she got a poem. Oh, that was a beautiful poem.
she
too.
got what?
She said she got a poem and he put it in a frame with roses and sent the audio of him reading. See, I would do shit like that.
See,
I would.
That's a real man.
I actually did that before. It popped up on my memory too.
Did it? I like that.
he's triggered.
I'm a maker. Like, let me just cook you something, and let me cook something. And then if I cook it, I'm gonna add some little other shit that just says I was in there. You know that I was there, like a chocolate spider, aka Black Widow. You get it? You get it? I'm corny. I'm corny as fuck.
I'm gonna retract my statement. I did get something last year for Valentine's Day, so that person watching don't whip my ass.
See,
They probably lurking like when this show done.
and guess
Oh,
what?
word. Oh, when that show done, where y'all at? How do I call in? Oh man, PJ, what did you do?
Yeah, let me go ahead and timestamp that.
Okay. Well, I wanted to add. I wanted to share something that I was not able to share for the last 3 shows. I did want to say this is on the NFL tip too. Do you know that the Cardinals did not pay playoff bonuses? I forgot to mention that. They was pissed off because they did not win, and they did not pay playoff bonuses.
So they had to win to get the bonus, or it was
If you there and you in the playoffs, like the coaches and all them is supposed to get their bonuses.
Right.
They didn't pay it. Batman, what up though? They didn't pay
Batman.
somebody getting sued.
it. That's a contractual thing, right?
Yeah, that's a couple. That's
white chocolate.
It's a pay scale for each round.
It is. I did see that.
Yeah,
like the playoffs.
it's they have to. I mean, it is part of their, CBA and all that stuff. So yeah,
Damn, they said no, this taxes.
that's why Murray kind of deleted all the Cardinals stuff on his.
Oh, that's what that was all
Yeah,
about.
that was all about. And so, and there's rumor mills that he's.
Fishing for a new contract
Yeah,
too.
so yeah, a lot of weird things with that one.
Okay. Well,
So,
Treat that young
that's
black
why
man
the off season
like
will be
trash.
interesting.
that's very interesting. I'm trying to keep up with it, but I think that the litigation stuff must have started because you can't really find a lot about it. But it was big news when it first happened. But before we get into our topic of the day, I just want to give y'all a little bit of news. Somebody else in Minneapolis was killed with the whole no knock law. Did you hear about that? The guy was in the house, sleeping in the bed with his gun because he got to carry. He got a license to carry, and they walked in. I guess he had a warrant, and they just they don't announce their office when they have the no knock law. Are you aware of that?
I didn't know that was the law there.
Yes,
but
and
I'm
that's how
very
a lot of those
aware
people.
that.
What did the girl get killed that way too? The one girl,
Taylor.
Breonna Taylor got killed with that same law, and it's still a fucking law, and I don't know why.
I don't know how you post. How the fuck do you want me to react? Have a gun to protect my house. You're kicking
barging
in my
in my
door
house.
like you're coming, like you about to rob me. If you don't announce yourself,
My reflex is to shoot first.
yeah, I'm gonna
sorry.
shoot first and
My
protect my
reflex
house.
is to
It's a
shoot first.
setup. It's a setup. It's a good way for them to put a bullet in your head.
So why is this
Easily.
thing still a law? I don't get it. Because I know after Breonna Taylor, they did dig into it, and they was trying their best to come up with something that was like similar, but not it. I mean, just keep the same no knock, but add extra things to it, so it is not. It's I can't think of it, but it was extra late. You understand what I'm saying? They was
supposed to announce.
trying
They
to
kicking the door. To, police. We have a warrant.
revise it. They was going to revise it.
Yeah, it's supposed to have been yelled out before they even.
No,
enter
they
the
don't. They don't have to announce their office. They just knock and then come in and do what they do. So what?
Second nature. You kicking my door, I'm shooting. If I got a gun to protect my house, I don't know if you the police. I don't know if you there to get my money. I don't know if you there because I might be with your girl. I don't know anything. You know what
Crazy
I'm
said
saying?
he was in the house. He was over a friend's house on their couch,
Wow.
and I'm carrying because I can. I'm not a threat to nobody.
In
In my
my
home.
property. Like
This has to stop, yo. So they did a whole bunch of riding. I don't know if y'all looked that up. If y'all didn't, just check that out and like look into that law. And I'm grateful and thankful that I do not live in Minneapolis. at all. Like, I don't get it.
Yeah, it's a terrible state right now. It's a lot of those, though, unfortunately.
A single mom of 5 allowed her 14-year-old daughter to babysit her kids because of COVID. The daycare got shut down. 4-year-old runs outside because he sees his friends outside. The neighbors think that he's home alone. Call CPS. And the lady is getting time. They locked her up. They waited 2 weeks to do an investigation. They waited 2 weeks to get an investigation, and they locked her up, and she's facing a year in jail.
But they wanted her to plead guilty and take 20 hours of community service and parenting courses. And that's not her first time that her child did run outside. Actually, I looked this stuff up the other day. Y'all know I'm a reader. I'll be like, I got to figure out, because what is y'all doing? Like, why y'all doing this to this lady? But the first time that her child did run outside, they said that her child was like pantsless.
Yeah.
And then the oldest daughter was 13 at the time, but still the law in Georgia, they allow for anyone who's 13 years and up to babysit younger siblings, but it just cannot be over the span of 12 hours. And it wasn't over the span of 12 hours because her mother wasn't working that long, honestly. So the first offense, the police was like, hey, be careful with this. Like, you could really get in trouble with that. It's a little boy running around the neighborhood without his pants on. And I'm guessing at that time he would have been, 3 years old, probably. So they gave her a heads up about that the first time around. And then it happened again a year later when the oldest daughter was 14 and still looking after these 5 kids. But of course, it was over the span of COVID.
Yeah.
So
A mother could barely look after 5 kids.
Right.
And you're expecting a 14-year-old to do that?
And they tried to blame it on the fact that the oldest has ADHD or some kind of learning disability, and they tried to route it into that and was like, she's not responsible and she's not capable of watching 5 other kids, so why would you put all that responsibility on your 14-year-old daughter? And when she's doing virtual learning, so she has to do that. She has a learning disability, trying to focus and maintain that, and watching after other kids, like running around. And these kids wasn't kids. I mean, they weren't like teens or preteens. They were kids. So it's like, I mean, I understand, like, the mom had to do what she had to do because she did have to work. She probably didn't have no type of help. I don't know. She was white. I know you got some help somewhere. I know you do.
I was going to say, she's sorry.
I know you got some help. I know you got some help. But that's just me and my personal feelings behind that. But I'm just like, okay, you got 5 kids. You like, come on.
Listen,
I know, no daycare. Somebody in the cul-de-sac could have helped you.
COVID happened, and people do it all the time. And honestly, I guess it's just news, because had she been black, this joint would have been spread all across everywhere, and they would not have taken 2 weeks to investigate it, and she would have been locked up, and the time they were talking about wouldn't even be on the table, because we are way harshly judged, way more harshly judged than any of them.
5 kids.
And let me tell you some real truth. When I was separated from my relationship with my kid's dad, I called because I lived in Sea Pleasant, and I called Sea Pleasant to find out what was the age, because I've always worked night shift, to find out what was the age limit. I mean, the age time frame for an older kid to keep another kid, and they had to be 12, and the youngest had to be 8. And I waited a year before I got rid of my relationship, and my kids were exactly 12 and 8, where they were able to stay the night in my house by themselves. And I had, of course, my neighbors. I lived in an apartment building, so my neighbor upstairs.
Yeah, we had some really good neighbors.
I was the same way. My father stayed working. My mother, she worked and always had to have Miss Bell. That's what we used to call upstairs, Miss Bell, the older lady. I knew Miss Bell. I knew her daughter. I mean, her daughter was also looked at me, and her daughter's son was one of my best friends. We had a whole community. I had people downstairs. Yep. That was around the time where people actually watched out for your kids, and they would tell you, like, the little knucklehead boy was out in front of the house doing that. You need to handle that.
Look, who was the neighbor that looked out for you in London?
It was Wanda.
Yeah,
it was Wanda that lived right next to us.
Who was upstairs? Miss Amy.
Yeah, may she rest in peace, Miss Amy, our Aunt Amy,
and Miss Virginia across from us.
May she rest in peace too.
Yes, I had it where I worked night shift, and they would make sure and keep, check on my kids, and like make sure nothing, cause we had those buildings that you had to be buzzed into. And then in the morning time when I got off and she had to go to work, I would take her daughter and we would I would take them to school and do all that, and then when she came back she would pick them up. We did that. She unfortunately was killed by her kid's dad. He killed her and then killed himself. So that.
But you know what? Listening to these stories, and you think about our communities now, we don't have that no more.
You
we
know.
don't.
It's wild.
You want to
out
fight?
here.
You want to fight your neighbor, or you don't?
Yeah.
People don't even say.
their
People
neighbors.
come into the building, you don't even say hi to them no more.
Don't even look him in the face.
Don't touch my kid. Don't say shit to my kid. That's how
Yeah.
parents and adults talk to other adults.
You
and
know
it's
your
no
neighbors?
structures.
You know your neighbors now? Do you know your neighbors?
I know my neighbors. I know my neighbors. I know the kids. I can call them at any time.
Oh, you have phone numbers for them too?
Yes, I have their numbers.
Listen, okay, because y'all been living in the house a long time.
We've been living
though.
in the house for a while.
Okay, see, and right now I still in Flint, all of my neighbors who still live on Home Street, all of them, I still have all their phone numbers. The people that are still living, I still have all their phone numbers, and these people have been there since I was a kid. But I was saying, in my neighborhood now, it took a year for my neighbors to speak to me. Like honestly, and it's because we probably there was an outage one time, so we all were outside at one time. That made us kind of have the conversation like, what's going on, and blah blah blah, whatever. Or at the mailbox, if I see you every day, then people finally start to raise their hand. But ask me a name, it's only my one neighbor next door, and I call her Cinnabon because she looks just like Cinnabon. So I think her name is Shirley, but
Yeah, Miss
people don't
Shirley.
talk to their neighbors.
Luckily,
I say
in
mom
our
and pop.
neighborhood, shout out to Miss McKinney. She's probably like one of the most vocal neighborhood community person. She speaks about activists, police justice, reform, all this type of
Nice.
stuff. She did a block party for the neighborhood over
old school.
the summer. It was about fall time, and brought the whole community out.
Nice.
I was actually out there helping
Nice.
the kids, and it was just crazy that so many people, we lived next to each other for years,
And didn't know.
years, and nobody knew each other. Like Miss McKinney was just like, yeah, this is Casey, because they see my face. They're like, this is Casey's mom. Oh my God, I never met Casey's mom. Then she was telling her, her father passed. His father passed away. Her husband passed away. Oh, the next thing you know, the community came together. Hey, if you need me for anything, if you just want to have a drink, you want to talk, here's my phone number.
Nice.
Like we
Nice.
need more of those.
Nice.
More of those.
I don't believe that it was socially engineered to be this way.
I think so.
That it was a think tank of people that put their minds together and said that this is what we're going to do to these niggas for in 2022 for them to barely speak to each other.
Oh, tomorrow, years and years and years ago. Yeah, I think so. Because you know what we do? We move into these neighborhoods that don't promote community anyway. We move into these big old houses, and you more land that you than you could ever even walk around and put your feet on, and then you get funky. You don't want your friends to come by. It's just, I think so. But I don't know why. Why do you think that's a thing, Batman?
If you read the Willie Lynch papers,
They said they can't hear you, Batman.
I didn't think they could.
is this thing on?
Oh,
Come a little closer. Yeah.
If you read the Willie Lynch papers, they laid out how they would divide us.
Come a little closer.
How about now?
There you go.
Okay. They laid out how they would divide us, right? Socially, mentally, psychologically engineer our dislike towards each other. And they said that if they were successful, it would last or perpetuate itself for the next 300 years.
And we
So
making
this
it
is where
happen.
we are.
We making it happen. So do you think by
You know what, Kiki? I'm sick of black people, man.
Oh, snap.
I'm sick of niggas, man.
I was about to say.
If I can
Niggas
speak
ain't black
freely
people.
today, that's where I'm somewhere this morning. You know, I'm tripping off of beans, but I'm somewhere this morning, right? I'm sick of niggas, man. I hated that Super Bowl thing yesterday.
Did you?
Really?
Man.
What did you hate? What did you hate?
Well, 50 Cent's part, right?
Okay.
Now keep in mind they my age. Dre a couple years older than me.
Yeah.
Mary 50, right? 50 Cent got all his sisters around him with their ass hanging out, man.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So maybe I'm on some grandpa type stuff now. But if Jay-Z is doing what he's doing to get us into that platform on a different level, then bring something a little different, man. Now that's just where I'm at with it.
You think that they brought what we expected them to bring, or do you think that they brought, excuse me, what they thought that we wanted to see?
I think Dre and Snoop did, and the white boy. Mary, she's struggling. However, that 50 Cent, man, I wasn't feeling it. I wouldn't feel it. And maybe this is an older man talking. I didn't feel it.
I think our atmosphere and environment where we was at, that kind of went over our heads.
It really did.
It went way over our heads.
Because I guess I didn't. It did. It went over my head.
See, niggas. I'm gonna say it all day, man. This is how I'm feeling. Okay. All niggas think about is entertainment. We so emotional that once you entertain us or sing and dance and shake your ass in front of us, we satisfied. But then we get mad when a boy get killed for the no-knock warrant. But ain't none of us down at the ain't none of us at the state office buildings or city hall trying to push no bills. You understand what I'm saying? I am sick of niggas, man.
Well, this is the month to be sick of niggas, right? This is Black History Month.
Forgive me.
It's the month.
No, this month has become the king of niggerdom.
Okay.
Think about every. People show their ass off. People love to show their ass off during this month, and people try your gangster this month.
But okay, so Batman.
And you know who people is.
So Batman, I just want to jump back for 1 second because I'm going to get into a few of these things because that before 10 o'clock gets here because we're going to jump more into that. But if it's entertainment, just be entertained. Like if I'm being devil's advocate. Why you just can't be entertained?
Because of where I am, based on my history, I'm just a little far beyond that. I grew up with Dre. I grew up listening to them.
But they was playing the music that you grew up on, correct? So to
Absolutely.
me, at that, I think, is it fair to say, or could you just imagine that they was trying to recreate that time? Because the nigga was upside down like he was in the video, and that song is about 20-something years old.
Weighing more than me.
So I didn't.
He hanging upside down, weighing more than me.
So I'm asking,
looking like a blowfish.
Do you think? I gotta go back and look at that. I gotta go back and look at it because I enjoyed it. So do you? Is it fair to say that? Or could you entertain the thought that they just was trying to recreate that time that they were, because they're old school and nobody up there got a song out right now. Nobody got a new song out. So they just, to me, I feel like, are you harshly judging this?
I am harshly judging it because
unfairly.
Definitely unfairly.
Okay.
Because I am that sick of niggas, Kiki.
So if you could have had it your way, how would yesterday have looked?
I don't know. I'm not into the entertainment thing like that. That's not where my giftings lie.
You have to have a.
Is that the only trigger?
With the halftime show? Mm-hmm. Yeah, 50 Cent part. That was my only trigger. And Mary trying to move.
Speaking of stupid shit. Speaking of stupid shit, Biden's trying to pass a law where you can get a crack pipe from him if you have it.
See, you know why they can do stuff like that? Because
are y'all aware of that?
Yeah, I'm very aware.
Okay.
Because we shaking our ass on a halftime show.
So we deserve to get clean
I'll
crack
get some crack pipes. You know, look.
This is an episode of the Boondocks.
I'm Uncle Ruckus today. You know what I'm saying? I'm Uncle Ruckus this week, man. Look. Mr. Coleman.
Yes, sir.
The white man that spearheaded, I may be wrong, White Chaka can check that spearheaded the crime bill. Mm-hmm. We voted for that nigga as the president of the United States.
We did. Smoke up. Just smoke up.
Let me say that again. The white boy that spearheaded the crime bill, that put half my homeboys away for life, for stuff we did back in the 80s and 90s. Mm-hmm. We voted in that nigga as president.
Yeah.
He said, I'm going to love you black people once I get in office, if you black. Because he was saying, if you don't vote for me, you ain't black.
Black if you don't vote for me. I remember that.
So I'm going to love on you. You know, he pimped us, man.
Pressure.
He got in office and he did something for the Asians.
Okay.
Straight out the gate.
And he gave them, didn't he give them reparations? Didn't he get reparations? I've heard.
But you know why he's in the office, though, right? How he got in the office.
Tell me why, brother.
It's because us as black people shit on people that don't vote Democrat.
Yes.
If you walk out, if I go on my Facebook page and says I'm a Republican, I voted for a Republican. I would get unfriended
automatically
by half the people on my
because
timeline.
Republican equals Trump.
And unfortunately, that's unfortunate. And Republicans don't even really like Trump, but
They respect him.
they definitely respect his hustle.
He's the spearhead for Republicans right now. Everybody that was before him don't even matter. You only name another Republican before Trump. Name any one of them. Come on, White Chocolate.
Bush.
Name me one.
Bush.
Beyond Bush.
Reagan, Nixon,
Come on.
Ford. You can say Romney now. You can say who else are you can say?
So who do you affiliate with being a Republican out of all those people? Nixon for me. It was Nixon for me.
It's them. Those are old school GOPs.
Yeah.
Trump is just infested into this because he did. He was, because if you remember how Trump original affiliation, he was Democrat. He was a Democrat, and then somehow he, him and his association with the Clintons, fell apart, and he decided to be Republican. And also, if you see how the state of the Republican Party was, especially during the Obama era, he used their hatred towards Obama, the Republicans, that, and he says, okay, and he stated this too. There is recorded statements from him stating that it's like, hey, I can easily just take control of this and go with it. And then once he got into the presidential race, shoot, it was a wrap. And just like Biden, once he got into the Democratic side, it was a wrap because everyone liked them.
Well, it was a time where we didn't even hate being Republicans. Like, we didn't hate it. It wasn't a plague if you said it. Like, people didn't unfriend you and they didn't unfollow you if you said you voted for Reagan.
Right.
Like after Reagan's era, like everybody was pissed off then. But during, like, no.
Because then, you can say social. Everyone will say social media as a scapegoat.
Yeah. It was your business who you voted for.
Yeah,
too. So.
but the thing is now is the fact that because Trump is so hated, and rightfully so, and his ideology, it makes no bit of sense because it gets to the point where it's like, how can you vote for a guy who pretty much just his main objective during the 4 years was in there was to undo whatever Obama did and had no other plan whatsoever. And again, you sit there and ask, it's like, well, mind you, it's like, why you try to figure out why you don't vote for Democrat. But the main thing is like, why would you when, again, the Democrat side has always been, they kneel down to whatever the Republicans do. They try to be fair. They're trying to play a fair game, but the Republicans, and especially these quote-unquote Republicans, don't play fair.
Think about this.
None of it, man. I don't like none of it. I think they should just destroy the whole entire thing and rebuild it, like start completely over.
We need a new constitution.
A whole revamp.
But the thing about that is, two things. I just want y'all to just listen to what I say. A white man said, if you don't vote for me, you ain't black.
You ain't black.
And we
the goal of saying that.
And we listened.
On a black show.
On a black show.
And we listened.
Then
and had our black card questioned and checked. You checked me?
And he cashed that check.
Absolutely.
Speaking of white people, and that's top tier caucasity right there. But I want to add to that, Joe fucking Rogan. Joe fucking Rogan. So if y'all are aware, Joe Rogan has a platform, has a platform and a podcast on Spotify. A lot of people are removing their content from Spotify because Joe Rogan jumps out and says racial slurs quite a bit. I think the last person to remove their content was India Ari. Now, he doubled back and he apologized, of course. And it's after several big name people start removing their stuff and Spotify start losing money. Understand Joe Rogan generates a big check from them. Mm-hmm. Like 70 of his podcasts were removed because he said nigga on his show or referred to us as monkeys or referred to us as apes. 70 of his shows, and they removed it. So I'm asking y'all, to add to that, the mayor, is it the mayor? I guess we'll get into that later because that's part of the topic for the day. But the guy from Florida says that he should have never apologized. He should have said that shit with his chest. And
Ron
nigga is a
DeSantis.
nigga. So I'm asking, is it freedom of speech for everybody? Because that's the thing. I mean, my take on it, and I'll get y'all's take, is if you start removing people's stuff because they saying these things, that is a sad place for us, because I say a lot of stuff too, and freedom of speech is part of that. Like but I feel like it's freedom of speech as long as you don't mention the alphabet people. It's freedom of speech as long as you don't mention Caucasians. It's freedom of speech as long as you don't mention the N-word. You know what I'm saying? So where are we going with this? Do y'all agree
Slippery
with this?
slope.
Yeah.
Slippery slope. I feel like this is, people gonna hate to hear this, but if you are a podcaster, an entertainer,
Yes.
an artist, you better hope he don't apologize.
He did.
Unfortunately.
He did.
And this is why I'm gonna say that. Because if you can remove my content remove his content for him saying nigga, when the next rap artist or the next person, when they get they get creative with their music or their podcast or whatever, they give them the green light to remove all your shit off. So you're losing the little bit of freedom of speech that you got. So it's kind of like you got to pick and choose your like of your taste. And unfortunately, Joe Rogan does not need fucking Spotify. They can drop him from Spotify. He can go on YouTube. He can drop a video and he'll get 30 million views.
Millions of followers. His audience is extremely huge, and all I gotta say is anything in regards to saying nigga. I think this is a really I had to really think about this one.
Think about us
It's
getting
like
pulled.
it's a slippery
Uncle Ruckus
slope. 'Cause
came in here and said nigga 20 times.
Right. What you're saying, like it being a slippery slope, is very true. I think that it would be dangerous to not hold them accountable because if you look at the bigger picture, and some people are probably going to agree, we reclaimed that word. A lot of people are like, well, you're reclaiming a word that was a slur, something to demean us, to dehumanize us. But that word is so powerful. And I heard this conversation from family members. I'm not going to name drop them, but from family members, that word is so powerful that it is the one thing that will get white people cut off. You lose your sponsorships. Look at Paula Dean. She said it in the comfort of all of that.
So why can't they say it? Why can't they say the N-word? Like, and I'm asking because I want answers from each and every one of you. I'm going to start with you, Batman. Why can't they say the N-word? Why can't white people comfortably say nigga around you?
Well, they can say nigga around me. I want them to say it around me. See, I like white people. See, I like the racist white man because as a man, I need to know where you stand with me.
Yeah.
See, the person that's in my face and smiling and grinning but really don't care about me.
Sneakiest ones.
That's the average white person. But coming up in this educational system, all of them feel the same way. It's just that Uncle Bob and them, they'll come straight out and tell you, nigga, I don't like you. Get your greasy, dirty ass away from me. That's the white man that I like to roll with.
Okay.
So you can say it around me.
Can they say it around you, PJ?
No, I'm going to say something. But like he said, I'll be glad that you did say it.
Thank you for showing me your true colors.
Thank you for showing me your true colors.
It don't
I'm
mean
gonna
I'm
check
not
your
gonna
ass.
tag you for it.
I'm gonna check your ass, and I don't
Yeah.
want to have to. It gives me the option of wanting to deal with you and not deal with you. When you're sneaky, like you said, when they're snakes, them the ones that will, hey, how you doing, Mr. Coleman? Man, get this nigga out of my office, man. And it gives you a false sense of reality.
Absolutely.
So if we can say it, because that's how they feel. They feel
It's
like
our word. We took it back. It's our word. So no, y'all can't say it. That's how I feel. No, y'all can't. If you white, no, you cannot say that. You could say it around me, but you're gonna get tagged. I don't think that you should say that word. I feel like and it's when you look at like how white people get in trouble. Maybe it is a plethora of other reasons why we are able to cancel white people, but that is the one word where you cannot say that. You will get canceled for it. You will get cut off. You will lose a lot of your stuff. And you let this man off the hook with any of this stuff, it gives everybody the green light to continuously say it. And then we're back in this endless loop of having to deal with that. No, you cannot say that. As a white person, as a non-melanated, as a white, anything that's not black, no, you can't say it. If you're Hispanic, no, you cannot say it. If you're Asian, no, you cannot say it. You will not say that word in front of me. If you do, you're getting tagged. Period. You're getting called out.
White chocolate.
You cannot say that.
White chocolate. What's your thoughts? Can a white person say nigga to you and in front of you, around you?
I'll counter this. What London just said.
Okay.
If an non-black person can't say nigger, then why should a black person say nigger to a black person? I've never understood that. Because here's you, before I'm sorry to interrupt you, but the thing is, it's like I know what that word means. I know the actual Webster Oxford Dictionary what it means.
Come on, Stan.
So pretty much means you're an imbecile, an ignoramus. You're just not smart.
Because white people can be niggas too.
Right. So again,
Jesus is my nigga.
yeah.
Jesus.
Yes. I can play that video for you again if you want. But that's the thing. So if you as much as Joe Rogan, you know, I felt like, look, it's his podcast. He can say whatever he wants. Spotify is just one of many platforms that he is on.
Yes.
He can go anywhere, wherever, and whatever. Shoot, you got guys who say some ridiculous stuff that are not even on any major social media sites. So, the real question is this like, if a non-melanin person can't say nigga, why does a black person say nigger to another? It just does not make sense.
You should look up a video on YouTube called when nigga was used the first time with a black person. It's a funny video.
No, it is funny.
Because to me, I think I feel like it's just ridiculous. I don't use it. I know what it means, and I don't say it to anybody because this is like I know what that word is, and I don't think any black person who says it to another black person knows what that word. As much as you keep saying
it's a term of endearment.
Yeah,
that's
what makes them feel more comfortable. And as if it feels like no. Know what that word means, and then tell me, is that a good term of endearment? It's like me telling you, hey, bitch, and it's like, is that a term of endearment?
Yes.
I mean, it's like, even if it's in the heat of the moment or whatever.
I know exactly what a bitch is, and I'm not that. But I was going to say, I definitely agree with you on that. So a lot of times, people probably should be more choicey when they're using the word, because some people use it knowing what it means, and you really are that. Like, so you have to be careful when your homies
when white people use it, they know what it means.
It's a different type of cut.
They think that we're imbeciles. They think that we're stupid. They think that we're in the ignoramus.
People think that racism and white supremacy is about hatred.
It's not.
It's not about hatred. Bigotry is about hatred.
Yes.
As long as them white folk in power, they can say what they want to say. We ain't gonna do nothing. But continue to call each other niggas and bitches. That's why I'm sick of niggas this week. See, they aren't. Joe Rogan, he'll take the heat for a second, but he ain't suspended for 2 weeks like Whoopi.
He got the green light from Trump too. Go ahead and say whatever you want to say.
Say whatever you want to say.
He already up there. They there. That's it.
So India Ari pull her music. She ain't putting nothing out 9 years anyway.
Damn.
I care nothing about that girl.
I was just about to talk about that too.
You know what I'm saying?
The statement that she said is it doesn't hold value. Yeah, I can pull
up my music, but
this man is releasing an episode every week that's getting millions and millions of streams. That's like me dropping a CD every Friday, and I'm going platinum every Friday.
And then here you come with your irrelevant ass. And I love India Ari. Let's be clear.
Me too, absolutely.
I love her music. She's big in this game, but you irrelevant right now. So that's what you're trying to say. Like, here you come along with your irrelevant ass.
And what the CEO of Spotify say?
Nothing.
So you good?
No. He said that. He said,
"Yeah, you good.
Say what you want." Like, and he didn't require him to apologize. He didn't require it until it's just the right thing to do,
money.
because
It's all about the money.
We were saying the same thing last week when I was saying, like, if something that you did and if it hurt someone's feelings, I think it is just professionally responsible to just apologize. Like, especially if.
Hold on.
Come on. White chocolate. Hold on.
Hold the phone. Okay. Now, I know you're talking about him saying all the, him saying nigger and all that stuff.
Yeah.
But really, what really sparked him to try to spark all this?
You asking me?
Yeah. Because I know, but do you? Because I don't think it's just that. Because well, here's
It
what I'm
must be some business then. It must
right.
be.
Well, here's the
Okay.
business part.
It's
So
the
what it
COVID
really,
part,
who really initially was starting to pull their stuff off was Neil Young.
For the vaccine, so
The vax stuff.
Information about the
right.
vaccine.
That was originally what that is.
It was irresponsible.
Yeah.
And a lot of people
Yeah.
follow him and had the same thinking.
Right. So connecting to that and then going into it's like then they realize the fact of all all his comments. So to really it's like no one's not going to listen to NDRA or at least someone pay attention, but they will listen to a Neil Young. Because Neil Young has
Young
to
pulled
get
it.
once Neil Young and then that domino effect kicked in,
Yes.
and it's like okay because I
it's
would
white people.
have so NDRE if it was just NDRE and it's like and then really then I would understand why nothing really is going on because it's like you just said NDRE ain't doing anything
We
so
would have never heard it.
Yeah.
We would've never hit, if she had done that, we would have never heard that.
Right.
We would have never hit the light of day.
And
That vaccine stuff is real. Like if you out here passing out false information or you're using your platform to give your thoughts on something as hardcore as vaccination, you will almost get canceled. I mean, I can
I
promise.
don't
you.
think they should get canceled for that.
I mean,
but the information they're putting out there is
He
not
never
factual.
Said he was a doctor. He never said he's giving his opinion about something. So if I come on,
There's an opinion. I understand those, but then again, at
It
the same
sound
time,
like it was
but your
law.
opinions is being presented as facts. That's
Yes.
a whole nother story.
because like Trump was saying something about bleach. How many people do you see out here injecting themselves?
Many
with bleach?
people.
And many people. I guess with that platform, it becomes a lot of responsibility. Do you guys think that black people are fetishized still?
Look at social media. Absolutely.
You said
I don't even-
fetishized.
Fetishized. You think we still fetishize? Because and I'm going along with that because white people want to say the word nigga. They want to shake their asses. They want to jump out here and be in the videos too.
We're the number one creators. We're the number one creators. We're the number one. We have so much power. Nothing moves unless black people touch it. In a lot of situations and a lot of things. Especially on social media. A lot of that stuff is geared towards us. We make a lot of stuff trending. We make a lot of stuff popping.
Does it upset you when you see our stuff being portrayed by them? And I'm saying our stuff as
TikTok
in,
is the biggest example of that.
does it upset you?
It does.
Yeah.
It does because it's like for
Especially
example,
when they get more views than you.
No, it's
mediocrity.
It's you might notice there's a woman. She lives somewhere like UK or something like that. She has millions of followers, and
Charlie D'Amelio.
yeah, and all
That little girl?
her videos is a black comedian's joke. She's just redoing them on like the voiceover on her page, and she gets millions of followers. She don't even tag the dude.
Damn. And don't even give them
And
the
she's
credit.
getting-
They never do that.
They never give you credit. They end up on Ellen. Everybody love them some Ellen. They gobble that right up.
They're brilliant. I love white people. They're brilliant.
Come on, Uncle Ruckus.
Torch said something I wanted to read this comment. Torch said, your perception of my opinion is not my problem.
But when you don't have no power, it becomes a problem. We don't have power.
Well, I'm glad that we're talking about that because it's 10 o'clock and I'm going to let you lead right into our topic of the day. Because it's Black History Month, we are talking about racism today and reverse racism. I want to allow you to finish what you're going to say because I want to jump right into that.
We don't have power. We don't have a community. We don't have community because our relationships are messed up. We don't know how to talk to each other. If I hang with you for a week, just me and you, we're going to argue about 3 or 4 times out that week.
For sure.
As soon as you give me an opinion that's different from mine, I'm butthurt. So I got to attack you now, not your opinion. I got to attack you. That's the way we are. Therefore, since that black man and that black woman can't get together, we can't build no communities, and we will never have power. So I'm trying to turn my black card in. I want to be white. I am no longer Batman. I'm announcing it on Real Talk Uncensored. I am Uncle Ruckus. I hate you niggas.
Not like niggerdom.
I'm Uncle Ruckus.
London, as a grad of a PWI. No, my God. As a graduate of a PWI, which means a predominantly white institution, have you ever experienced or observed racism or reverse racism? And can you talk about
Every
that?
day. Every day I was at Towson. It's part of the reason why I left. I only went because they gave me the most money. So I'm going to just go ahead and clear it up because they were like, well, why did you go anyway? I wasn't getting any kind of funding from an HBCU. I really wanted to go to one. I wanted to pledge and be Greek. I wanted to do all those things. I was not getting any money, so I went where the money was residing. So to clear that up. Thank you, white man. Clear that white chocolate. But when I was there, I did participate in a few sit-ins. I was there for protests because I was a member of the Black Student Union at Towson University. I was on the news in a little snippet. You'll see me. I showed them. I was like, Mom, on the news. But it was mainly because when everything that was happening in Missouri, the We Are Mizzou hashtag was coined from, of course, the incident that happened in Missouri, but then Towson, we started leading behind that and was like, okay, well, let's just start some stuff. Like, let's get some more attention or whatever at Towson. The same thing is happening here too. And a lot of the individuals that I was hanging around, they were really radical. I was like, let's blow this up. Like, let's do this. Like, because that's just the type of person that I am. Like, sometimes I'm okay with having meetings, but I knew that having these meetings with the white administrators and stuff at Towson, nothing was going to get done. I was like, I'm not here for the peace. I'm not here for the gentle approach on anything. Let us just go ahead and run up and do this sit-in, and we're going to demand some changes. And if they can't keep doing, if they can't keep that going, we're going to sit in their office and sit in the middle of the floor and just keep and have it going. I like the old school approach of doing stuff like that. That's just my personal opinion. But it was, I could speak on one exact experience of racism that I did witness. And we had an event, as the Black Student Union, we had to do weekly meetings every Wednesday at 4 to 5 p.m. And basically we talk about different topics because we had to get our cap and diversity points. So that way we could still have funding through the Student Government Association. And one of the meetings that we had, it was just to talk about laws, the warrants, like no-knock warrants, things like that, what to do when you get pulled over by police, just to educate our community just a little bit better. And the thing about it, when we have these events on campus, other multicultural groups were able to come in and participate, and so they could get their cap and diversity points. It's a requirement for them too, so that they can get funding. Okay. But specifically, the people who specifically came in, it was a group of white girls from a sorority. You already know I cannot stand white women. Like, I really cannot, because they weaponize their tears in a way that is extremely dangerous, and I can't stand it. Yep. Man, if you're a white person in my life and we cool, like you lucky. Because any other time I'd just be like, nope, y'all tricky. So what happened was we had our little meeting and everything, and it was one of my friends who went up. He was talking about an experience of when he got pulled over, he got tased and everything, and one of the white girls laughed, like snickered. And we all, like, as a group, as a collective, we all looked back. We was like, this is the one time that we not going to be like extra and rah. Right. We're going to hit you where it hurt. We're going to report this. We're going to have a sit-down meeting, and we're going to really read you for filth. You're going to lose all your cap and diversity points. You're going to lose your funding. Like, you're going to have to start all the way over. Yep. We're going to hit you where it hurts. And so that's why I agree with Batman when it's like, as far as the power thing is concerned, sometimes you have to do things smartly. White people are very crafty. They are very sneaky. Yes. They get their stuff done. They hit below the belt. Yeah. And sometimes I think in the black community, we don't hit below the belt. It's always this big disorganized uproar. And I'm not saying that however you choose to be black or however you choose to protest, there's no right or wrong way to do it, but there's a better way to go about it so that both ends are getting hit. But we did our little meeting and stuff with the little white sorority. They sitting there at the table crying like, oh, we worked so hard for our diversity points. I said, okay, we cried getting tased and getting arrested by these police officers. So guess what? Start over. And guess what? You're also not allowed to come back to our meeting, so you're not getting any cap and diversity points from the Black Student Union. We're not writing that off.
How was that received? Was there a meeting? Crying. Was there a meeting about that?
There was a meeting. It was this huge.
Of course, it's a meeting about that.
Absolutely.
Of course.
That was wilding. Like all the people, all like the white folks at Towson really thought we was the villains, and we was like, we're not changing our minds behind this. Like, I was angry at that meeting. They was like, Miss Jackson, because I was the fundraising chair. They was like, do you have anything you want to say? I don't want to do business with these people. These white
Come
women
on.
are dangerous.
Come on.
I was like, they're dangerous. I don't want to do
They
business
did the
with none
number
of
one
them.
tactic though. They
They
villainized.
cried.
you.
They villainized
That's
us.
what they do.
That's
And
the
it was
number
a
one
majority.
tactic.
It was majority black women on the Black Student Union board, and you know how white women feel about black women when it comes to them weaponizing their tears or them taking on certain mannerisms and stuff that we have to weaponize against us and make
Yes.
us look like we're less than, or they dehumanize us, or they make us look so bad. They weaponize their tears and spin it and put fake lips and fake butts and stuff on everything. It was like bet and get away with it. And people eat it up. So I was like, that's why when it comes to certain stuff, I'd be like, yeah, I'm here for the rah, 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 rah. But then I'm also here for the, all right, we really got to do something different behind this. Like, it got to hit in a specific way where we're also covering our traces. Like, we're doing this the smart way so retaliation does not occur in a way where we end up getting hurt or whoever else is coming behind us is getting hurt. So that is where I agree with Batman as far as the power is concerned, as far as how things need to be. I do like being a nigga though. I'm sorry, I don't want to be white Batman, but I understand.
Do you know? Did you know Karis Harrison? Never heard of him. Okay.
Okay, Florida can ban lessons. There's a new thing that's in Florida. Here's an uprising. It's going to be an uprising. Florida could ban lessons about discrimination that makes white kids feel uncomfortable. Meaning, anything, I'm going to read this because I wrote it. Meaning, the governor of Florida, Ron DeSantis, backed a ban on making white people feel guilt or discomfort from past racism. He is trying to get the Stop Woke Act passed, a bill in which wants to ban teachings of students or training of employees anything about blacks that would make them feel uncomfortable, which will also allow them to sue if teachings or trainings make them feel discomfort or distress. So if this passes, Black History Month is going to be illegal. Alabama is already challenging the continued teachings of Black History Month. How do y'all feel about that?
They're trying to erase our history. They're trying to erase history. They're doing the
They
best
trying to erase
ways.
their own history too.
Oh.
A lot of people think like, and I have to say this. I'm sorry to cut you off. I have to get this out too because y'all know me. When it comes to Black History Month, and this is part of the reason why I get upset sometimes when it does come to Black History Month, because it's always directly tied to whiteness. It's always tied to white history. And that pisses me off. Everything doesn't always have to be about slavery. Thank you for teaching me about my history, but there are several different aspects of Black history under one umbrella of Black history. So white people are mad because the further we go and the further we dig, and I've noticed this, and I'm sorry, I always got to mention TikTok because TikTok, they do be dropping gems. If you end up on the right side of TikTok, they be dropping gems. You got these younger teachers who are coming out now who are changing the curriculum. And it's not always just the slavery, Christopher Columbus. It's some other stuff that's tied into there. It's the about. It's the through Black history and lesser than the about Black history. So white people are mad and they want to erase that because it is a change that is occurring. I see it happening in real time. Like when I was in college, when I was in elementary school, the curriculum was set with how it was. But now that my friends who are teachers, they're like, let's go further into this. Let's go further. Let's talk about any and everybody. Let's talk about how this started. Let's talk about who invented this and how far and the patents and stuff like that. White people are mad behind that. They don't want Black history because it's tied into whiteness and it does make them look bad. But it also has the answers and stuff that we need.
Guess what? That's what they're trying to do. Villainize us again.
Absolutely.
We've always been villainized, though.
The thing about that is, there are people, grandmothers, that are walking this earth
Over the
that
age
has
of
been
100.
through
Still,
during the civil rights. Like
They
they're
still
living.
telling the stories.
They will try to portray. They act like there wasn't no colored photo cameras out there. You ever notice when they want to make something look very old and vintage?
Black and white.
They use black and white.
But
All of a sudden, I just started seeing raw, recent color pictures of Martin Luther King. But when we grew up, Martin Luther King, it made things feel old and outdated.
Yep.
And I do agree with you. Black history is more than just civil rights and slavery.
and it's okay. We can
and
learn about
Luther
the
King.
oppression and liberation, but let's celebrate the
But-
actual celebration and not just the
thing about it is,
balance it.
last year's history. 2 years ago is history.
Yeah.
10 years ago is history.
Yesterday.
Yesterday is history.
It is.
It's anything
It is.
previous to the present is history. So I do feel like the curriculum and these outlets and stuff like that, they do try to portray a certain idea of what Black history is, and we get Rosa Parks thrown up our ass a million fucking times, and they don't talk about the other people
Shirley
that said,
Chisholm.
yeah, it's like, but
I mean,
but to go back to that topic of that governor.
Yeah,
they're trying to whitewash everything,
and that's the first place everybody want to go. It is whitewashing. It is. They want, essentially what they're saying is you can teach this history, but you just can't tell people the roles. Like you could teach the Holocaust, you could teach slavery, but just don't identify the roles. Don't say white people did whatever. And for their children that are coming up who feel like, man, they being penalized for what their ancestors did. They think it's unfair that we continue to just do that without knowing them as people. How y'all feel about that?
No.
Or do you see truth in that?
Hold on.
Come on, white chocolate. Do you agree with that?
Okay. First off, I want to give you the proper thing that DeSantis is doing. He's doing two things.
Okay.
So one. The one that you're talking about, the mention of the act that he's doing is called Stop the Woke Act.
Yes.
And the woke is an acronym for wrongs to our kids and employees. So he's trying to spin this. He feels like, okay,
Yes.
the kids and his employees are being attacked when you're trying to put out information. So, and here's the funny thing. So, here's are the steps. So in schools, he said, protecting our teachers and students. He confides the Federal Department of Education prohibiting on teaching critical race theories in K and 12 schools, and prohibits schools, districts, colleges, and universities from hiring woke CRT consultants.
Yes.
Then he goes to corporations and he says he wants to protect employees against a hostile work environment due to critical race theory training. And then the consequences, which is funny, is provides employees, parents, and students a private right of action, and then strengthens enforcement authority of the Florida Department of Education. So it's, like you said,
you can sue.
Shut the fuck up,
You
Act.
can
Yeah.
sue. You can sue if you are in one of these private businesses and you're being trained on equality for race. You can, if you're uncomfortable or distressed or feel anguish behind the teaching, there possibly can be a lawsuit against that business or against that school. Because God forbid, if we start talking about slavery and you feel uncomfortable, God forbid.
But the thing is, DeSantis, I don't know why he's still governor. I just don't get it. I don't know why they want to continue to keep him in office, because the people that he's quote unquote having these feelings against is majority live in that state. So it
Florida.
and it is
they a
just
different breed down there.
yeah,
and we run down there. Every chance you get, you run to Florida.
right.
To retire.
To retire, to
and
the party, businesses. I mean, it's just, and it's not just that act. The other is the anti-gay thing
I
too.
was going to get to that.
And it's just to the point where it's like, you know how many people who live down there and someone probably voted for him, and you're trying to dismantle everything that they're trying to help themselves feel good about themselves and their culture and their livelihood and things like that. And you just feel like, nope, can't talk about that. No, you can't do this and you can't do that. It's the most stupidest thing I ever heard.
You know, in addition to that,
Yes.
what it also does is it takes some more of the responsibility off of us to prepare our own kids and grandkids,
Let's get to that.
so we can push it on a white man. Oh, he's doing the Stop Woke Act. What's
won't let
stopping
us.
you? Right, he won't let us. What's stopping you from getting the kids in the neighborhood, buying them a little lunch, and sitting down and teaching them ourselves?
Well, because we're too busy buying them iPhone 15s, and you look it up. And it is a responsibility, because you got to understand, these are babysitters, these are teachers, these are mother and fathers.
But again, okay, we can blame these, we can blame social media, we can blame all that, and I kind of agree with Batman a little bit about the sense of the fact that it's like, yeah, parents need to try to more educate their children, but at the same time, it's like they are busy. You know, I mean, these and majority of them are single parents, so really they don't have the time to sit down and have an educational talk about, oh, here's the actual history, what happened on the march to Washington and all that stuff.
You don't have the time.
If you have the time, great.
Because where I was getting around to that is, and I'm not, and I don't want to think I'm blaming, but we don't find the time because that teaching your child anything other than what the school is teaching them is antiquated. That is old school. It is something that people don't want to take the time to do. And I don't know that the parents have forgotten that. I don't know if the parents don't want to reiterate it. I don't understand. But right now, we are depending on these.
Because again, if you want information, if you want instant information, yeah. Get into a cell phone, get into a computer is the quickest way to get it because again, Google has it for you. I'm cut you up. Sorry. The first thing that you say to somebody, ask you something, Google it. As opposed to, and my daughter can tell you, how long did I make y'all walk around with the sources and dictionaries?
I still have a dictionary.
I made them walk around it. But
not in this person, my other person, but I always carry a dictionary.
Listen, we are going to be, and when she asked me, that was the time for me to sit with her and say, we both look and we had to talk about it. That's the discussion.
I understand that. But again, but then you have to understand about patience. And most adults, keep in mind, you know, the people who are these children parents are probably our kids, you know, our age, you know, and we kind of gave them that access to be sort of like, hey, you do you be you and all that stuff, and that's what they did, and they pretty much just like they don't have no care in the world, and they don't have the patience to sit there and try to explain certain things, and that's why things get worse and worse down the line.
We are
such. You're a parent.
We are such.
You say that, you can say that, but at the same time, it's just like, look, look, you're a good parent because I see it. I can be a good parent whenever that time comes. But at the same time, it's like, if you see somebody else and you kind of question the fact, it's like, is there good parenting if they're not properly educating their kids?
No, good is relative.
Yes.
That's what.
How many men are doing what we've done with men? How many men has sat around in the setting that we put together to minister to one another around this country? It's being done. But it's not being done enough to where it's highlighted because we don't care. I hate you.
Niggas.
We are a broken consciousness having people. It goes back to dating. It has to start with that black man and woman, Kiki. It goes back to dating. And I'm astray a little bit, but just walk with me on this, right?
Okay.
The majority of us as men, when we date that black woman, we dating her deceptively. We want some of them cookies. So 9 out of 10, we're going to trick it out of her. We're going to deceive her to get it. Once we realize that, man, these cookies, you're like, all right, you know, I want some more. And we start a pattern of cookie eating, we wind up having a kid. But we don't love that woman. Mm-hmm. You understand what I'm saying? It starts out wrong. The relationship starts out wrong. So when you have that kid, naturally, you love your kid. You know, you partially love your kid. I'm going to take a chance at saying this. You partially love your kid, but you barely love yourself. So you have to go. I'm talking about men now.
Okay.
So you handle your responsibilities to an extent. But as far as developing, putting your energy to develop the total soul of that child, most black men ain't there. As we can see when we get our men together. Mm-hmm. We messed up, man. So how are we going to sit and focus and build up the soul of a young man?
When the foundation ain't there.
When the foundation ain't there.
That's why I wanted to go back and challenge what White Chocolate said, because I didn't understand if that was instilled in me that I was supposed to pour into my kid like that, but I just knew that was my kid, and for real, whatever they became, because I came from that. Whatever I am is a direct result of who raised me, and I was very conscious and conscientious about that in these streets, because people knew more of my father than they ever knew of me. So to me, that whether you have the time, White Chocolate, you're supposed to fucking make the time, because this is your kid. So I'm trying to understand. I want to explain to me what is taking place, or what is it that you're giving time to when you say they don't have the time? What's in the place of giving that time to your child?
Work, work. If you're trying to provide, and especially let's say this, if you're a single person with kids, your main focus is work. Try to provide for your kids. So pretty much that time gets taken away. Okay. Now, and you may have a little window just to help with the homework, or here's the challenge. Either you help your child with a little bit of homework or get some rest before you have to go to your late shift. So it's those are the battles you have to deal with. If you're a couple, again, and especially if you're trying to thrive within your company and things of that nature, again, work takes over. You don't have, let alone you don't have time with your significant other. What makes you think you have time for your kids? And you keep hearing those questions. It's like you'll say, "Hey, where's dad?" or "Where's mom?" "Oh, she's got a business meeting to deal with," or whatever. Yeah, it's just like it's those type of things. Again, which do you sacrifice? And unfortunately, you say these replace it. Think about, mind you, a celebrity couple is like, hey, they hand them off to the maid or the caregiver, whatever, and they know more about the caregiver and who they associate with than the mom and whatever she does.
So then, whose fault is that?
Because the fault is
I'm asking because as a family, like when you have more than one child, it's the family's responsibility, I believe, to raise a family. It is. Because I depended a lot on Brittany. Brittany is my oldest daughter. I depended a lot on her in terms of helping me because I did work. I was in school. I did a whole lot of that, and I had them right underneath my breast to do so. But I depended on Brittany with the homework aspect.
Okay.
Because of what I taught her, we were teaching her.
How old was she when you had London?
4.
Okay.
They're 4 years apart.
4 years apart. Okay. So again, you relying. I can understand relying. Maybe a 6-year-old helping out with 12. 10 and 6. 9 and 5. I mean, at that point in time, what is this like?
12 and 8 is at the time where because Brittany began to show the things that I thought that I wanted to see from her. Because
again, that's based off of how you handle things. Okay. I understand that. Okay, for somebody else, they see something completely different. That's why you see mostly some of these weird posts about, the mom did this to this child because of X, Y, and Z and all that stuff. And because of the fact that they can't handle the situation they're dealing with at that moment in time. So with how you were raised and how you handle certain things is completely different than somebody else's.
No, I do understand that, but as we're looking around and we're seeing it, I still see the cookie cutter thing. There aren't enough people that stand out with how they raise their kids.
Right.
Everybody do the same fucking thing, and I'm not telling you that my childhood was golden because it wasn't. There's a lot of shit that I could have drew from that the end result would not be what you see. I had to make it up in my mind when I had my kids based upon the stuff that I seen, and I don't understand. Like I stood out, and a lot of my friends did the same thing. Right now, you don't get that, and I'm trying to find out why. Why is parenting up for? Because
to them, honestly, the way I see it, for a lot of people, parenting is another job, and especially it's not something they don't get paid for. And that's why I feel it's like they throw their hands in the air and figure it's like they do whatever you may cringe and all that stuff, and some do, but really they think it's like another job, which it is. Marriage and parenting are two jobs that people can just give up really quickly because of the fact that they don't believe in the full benefits from it. And the full benefits meaning is the fact that it's like they figured it would be easy. They figured it's like, having a kid will be easy. Getting married with the love of your life will be easy, and not understanding that you have to dive in and work hard to maintain that relationship constantly. And they don't want to do that, and especially this day and age.
Question.
Yes.
I go to the bar a lot, right?
Yeah.
A lot of single mothers at the bar?
Yeah.
See a lot of them there, right?
Yeah.
I think all this shit is excuses. I think once you become a parent, see, you said the job comes first. No, the kid comes first. I'm getting a job to help my kid. My kid is coming. I'm trying to build my kid up. I'm pouring, like you said, pouring into your kid. I've seen so many single mothers that have a job that works, that come home and still. Let's circle it back because we're talking about Black history, right? They will find a way to educate their kids. My cousin 2 daughters, single mom. She's in the Army. She has a job on a base. 2 of the smartest kids in the world. Why? Because instead of, let me hit happy hour, or let me go to such and such, or let me not chase this nigga, I'm with my kid. There's time. It's 24 hours in a day. You work 8 of them. You supposed to sleep 8, but most people
12.
only.
I work 12.
Yeah, 12.
I work 12.
And most people, they say you're supposed to sleep 8 hours a day. The average man or woman does not sleep in 8 hours a day. There's time, and it's just lazy excuses. Like I've dated single moms. The last girl I dated was a single mom, and that kid is one of the most smartest kids I know. That kid knows history.
That's what's up.
You know what I'm saying? She teaches everything to him. Like she's not gonna, like you said, she's not gonna use the school system to teach that into her kid. You know what I'm saying?
Because
But
as
some
much
of
as we have arguments about or just you find discrepancy in the school system or whatever, you still send your kid every day, and you rely you rely only on that. So to me it seems kind of lopsided when you argue and do all this opinionating on social media about something, and yet you come home just like you said, and that is the end of it. Like school has ended when school has ended for your child. You don't teach them shit, because everything that you do is what you want to watch, what you want to do. We started ours very early with Sesame Street. My mother didn't stop it there. And now people don't look at anything on TV. Like there's nothing even educational, and that's partially our fault.
And this is where, you know, if we're going to use iPads and phones, you use your tools to craft a better object. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That object is your kid, and you have tools like that. And I feel like,
In addition to,
in addition to, so it's what is, if we just for a small example, we're teaching Black history. We're mad because they're trying to whitewash it out of the school. What is so hard about going to your kid and saying, your homework for today is Malcolm X? I need you to pull up four facts about Malcolm X, and I'm going to come back to you later on today, and we're going to talk about it. We're going to have a discussion about it. What is honestly, a lot of times the parents ain't even educated enough to teach Black history. So they need to be, let me Google some stuff up and I can pass this knowledge along.
That's the thing. I'm in total agreement with you, but Malcolm X ain't Black history. Now I'm agreeing, but it's profound, because that is what we think.
yeah,
If I had my little man do a report on Malcolm X, it doesn't make me feel like he knows history.
yeah,
And where I am, because we are such, as a people, our consciousness is broken. That's what we don't emphasize that enough. So half of the time, in which I agree with white man, half of the time we are trying to compensate for that brokenness.
Yep.
And when you are compensating for that brokenness, whether it's pleasure, you're using pleasure to compensate for that brokenness, whatever form that pleasure manifests itself in, whether it's in a woman, a man, Hennessy, or whatever the case may be. That is what we do, and that will not gear us into having a linear focus on the next generation. That's why we're not thinking about things or even talking about, or we talk about it, because that's what we do with Black folk. We talk, passing wealth to the next generation, passing a house to our children, to our grandchildren. We ain't thinking along those lines. So with that being the case, that's why I always go back and say that the foundation for our problems is the Black man and woman and that relationship, and how we have to repair that. I don't think I'm gonna see it repaired in my lifetime. But that is what one of the things I feel as though we need to focus on and concentrate on, repairing the consciousness of that broken Black man and woman, because that's where it will start.
And then they can understand their Black humanity, and not just the I can't think of the word, but I get what you're trying to say. But it's like closely tied to like Black humanity. I can add that even like as a kid, and I went to all the little white schools. It was a lot of white girls, a lot of little Asian girls, and everything. But me and my experiences as a kid, helped me understand like who I am as a black person, my existence, my humanity, my consciousness. Like that's where it all begins too. So I think there's another side of it where it's like there's the parental side, but then there's also a kid's experiences. Kids are smart. Kids are really smart. There were times where I would come home and I would tell my mother, like, you know, my hair, like, what's up with that? That was a lesson in itself. That was the first lesson of being proud of what I have as a black person, what I was born with, like how I talk. Like, just because I talk with a certain way or whatever, that doesn't mean that I'm not smart. I can still use slang. I can still use certain terminology, but get my message across. My mother always taught me that you don't have to curse all the time. Nope. You don't have to say nigga. You don't have to do this and this and that to get your message across. And me going to these different schools and being made fun of for an accent, I still got my message across. I'm like, I'm still going to sound like this, but it's still going to be the same. Black kids and their experiences are also teaching moments as well. And I think there's another side of it where sometimes parents don't listen to their kids either. Yep. Or they don't make that time to listen to the kids' experiences at school. It goes far beyond just the curriculum that's occurring. It's a balance.
It goes hand in hand. Because like something so simple of why is my hair like this?
That's a teaching
the
moment.
average household.
Lesson.
Girl, your hair fine. Go in the room. No, your hair's like this because we're from time for a history lesson.
Right.
Bow right there. You and this is why I don't agree with that. I don't have time. If you're not talking to your kids, then
it's a teacher. If you're black. Every day that you wake up, every blinking moment that you have is a black experience. It doesn't always have to be tied in, like how you say, like Malcolm X and like these typical things that
it's communication.
It's communication. And that is an aspect of black consciousness. Communication. That's how we talk to each other.
But this is the thing about foundation. I actually made a post about this years ago, and I redid it not too long ago about foundations. And I was speaking about foundations of relationship, but it's the same concept. If you in a neighborhood, right, and what do you build first in the house? You work on the foundation. You lay the foundation, right? So many households, other complexion households, that foundation is so strong. They pass the knowledge paths. They know how to do. They know about stocks. They know about which stuff that you should be using through the government, and all that stuff is getting poured into their kids. The foundation is building. Then in our family, we look good. The house looks good. It looks great. Yep. But the foundation is so weak. When life comes, as that storm of life comes, and we're wondering why our house is knocked the fuck down. And they're facing the same storm, and their house is built up. And that's not even a white or black thing, because there's certain black homes.
It's a people thing. I was going to say.
Yeah, it's a people thing, because I know parents, black, same as me. They're teaching their kids this. I'm going to learn more so I can teach my kid more. I'm not going to just stick with the things that grandma and granddad told me, because times are different, and they build the foundation. A lot of times in relationships, with men and women, the foundation is not built. So when the storm comes, you wonder why your house is knocked the fuck down. Same thing as the community. The community is knocked down because none of the foundation is built.
But to me, it's like as God has it. Like, I'm older than London, right? There's a reason that I'm younger than my mother. There's a reason why my mother was able to teach me the things, because a person before you is supposed to show you that about the stuff you about to go through, and the year that you went through it. My grandmother handled it this way, my mother handled it this way, this is how I handled it, and then you leave it up for that person. There's always a moment, a teaching moment, always. There's always something, and you're supposed to take the time every day, even if it's about spoon. Like, believe me, my kids think I talk a lot, right? Because everything is a lesson. Let me show you how to wash these dishes is a lesson. Let me show you how to wash these clothes. Like, everything was a sit down, and it was a tutorial about everything, because I wanted to understand, and I always asked them, what did you hear me say? When that girl came home, my daughter came home, because Brittany got Ashanti sideburns, right? They all the way down here. She's hairy and all that. She cried about her hair. London cried because she was amongst white people and Asians, and London's hair is beautiful, but it's coarse. It's coarser than theirs. So we had a conversation about that. We had a conversation about her nose. We had a conversation about her eyebrows. We had all that conversation.
Nobody can't tell me nothing to this day. I'd be like,
we had a conversation about her being tall, because as children, you want to fit in with what you think is perfect. And what is perfect and if you stand out, it's not you. So London was slouching around and doing whatever she had to, and I hate to bring this up, we had a conversation about her butt. Like I told her, I said, you are very different from a lot of people, and it is because of me. It is because of this, you know what I'm saying? I let her understand, like, I weathered that storm, and this is how I did it. You can do it too. Stand up tall, be the tallest person in that room, and guess what? They're gonna see you. You shrinking for you and not for them. And you find out later that people envy her because she's tall. They envy her because that hair that she got, that
They're
she
gonna
never
villainize you.
that
Like
she
the
never
#1
had to put a
weapon.
relaxer in because her hair is like that. She didn't understand that, but teaching moments for your kids. And I took every moment, even on the ride to school. Ain't no music in this car unless they was with their daddy. But with no music in our car, we're talking about things like I was showing London how to drive a stick shift from a young age from this side of the car, just because that was a moment for me and her to talk. And I one day just was like, London, this is first shift. I said, when you see me hit the clutch, do this for me. When should you go to 5? When should you I liked talking to my kids. They were mine. And what the fuck you put in them, that's what you get out.
That's what you get out.
Yeah. Damn.
I don't have sons.
It got quiet after that.
It really did. It was like awkward silence.
I was like,
You gotta have. I'm sorry.
No, I don't want White Chocolate to think that I don't understand his point. I do understand it, but I wanted to drive it in for those people who are listening who feel like you feel or feel what you were saying. I don't have the time, and I just wanted to bring that up so I can show how I made the time and why it is important that time is being made. So go ahead, Batman.
There are elements of self-awareness that as parents we have to experience, right? I recently had a conversation with a friend of mine, right? In which I asked this person to give me their honest viewpoint on how they see me, right? Now, socially, we have the mask that we put up with people in our relationships, right? But to have that, because socially, we can have all kind of fun. We can hang out, ride bikes, all kind of stuff, right? And never know the inner complexities of how you come across to another person that stops the bonding. I'm going somewhere with this. That stops the bonding. So after having that open-ended conversation, it caused me to reflect on it, to discover things about myself that I kind of knew, but I didn't want to hear that because I'm Batman. The id and the ego, right?
Yeah.
But once you take it in, and more of those masks come off, it's going to affect how you deal with everybody around you, especially your children.
Yep.
You feel what I'm saying? Because you can only love them to the capacity in which you have been loved and which you love yourself. So socially, because we are still at that age where we have our cliques and our clubs, I push this little silent narrative to have them uncomfortable conversations, to have real relationships. I don't feel like we have real relationships. I feel that we socially pacify one another for a few hours. We get our drink, we do what we do, and then we go home, and our children see the real us. Our spouses see the real us. You understand what I'm saying? But we gotta have those uncomfortable conversations to pierce that veil, that fake ass veil that we carry around, so we can walk around authentic. And then this wouldn't even be an argument. We'll pull our kids up. We'll have that kind of freedom of consciousness where we'll pull our kids up and everything becomes a teaching moment. Because there's such a high level of self-awareness. Does that make sense?
No, it does.
When you are self-aware and empowered, you can't help but want to empower somebody else. It oozes out of you because you're free.
So what's the reason for the fake ass veil? Do you think that it's a taxing on a person to be that real all the time where you just need a break?
Because we have been psychologically conditioned not to trust each other.
Yeah.
We just don't trust each other.
That makes
It's just
sense.
that simple.
some people are not equipped with the tools that they need to accept from a friend, like that thing that you required of someone. There are a lot of people who are not equipped, because who the fuck are you to tell me about me? Me and PJ is close. Like, who are you to come? If I came to London, which I did, and they'll tell you, what about me could I change? How could I love you better? Those are conversations I had with my children. And people kept saying, you don't supposed to ask your kids what they think. Or I said, I have to. I engage with them. I encounter them, and they encounter me. And if life in my person was only as I see it, that's what a lot of us fucked up.
That's where we are.
There are people who are not equipped to take the real from you. Like me and you, when you first told me you had a conversation with that one person, and you was like, I let her ass have it. And I said, she wasn't ready for that, because that's not y'all thing. And she didn't even ask him. Like, some lady was talking wild, and he's like, look, after a culmination of things started to happen, he just broke everything down about how he see her, and she stopped talking to him about shit like that. You know what I'm talking about, right? She stopped talking to him. So what advice would you give to people in friendships like that? Should that friendship just end, or
I would say, as black people, the majority of them are going to end, because, like you said, we don't have the tools. We don't have the tools to know how to sit and communicate to resolve those little things. They don't even be big things while we break up with each other, right? I look back now, Kiki, I done been out the community, vested. It's been about 6 or 7 years now since I've been out, maybe a little closer to 8, right? And when I walked away from that big position that I had 1,000 reasons. But when I sit back and review those reasons, ain't none of them have legs to stand on. You were selfish. You didn't accept the fact that the work you put out there didn't get you worshipped.
Ah.
Do you understand what I'm saying?
That's heavy.
Therefore, you have to be willing to sit and go through the conversation completely. It may take 2 or 3 conversations. You know what I'm saying? And she may piss you off. You may have to go back to her later on and say, look, let's talk about it again. Let's talk through it.
She wasn't ready for that realness, baby. Like, and that's the bottom for me. Like, I have friends who can. Like, if you're my friend, understand, and everybody who on here, if you're my friend, you can tell me about me. Tactfully, because I'm gonna tax that ass if you're wrong. Tactfully, you know what I'm saying? There's a way to do it, but you said what?
Come correct.
Just come correct.
Yeah.
You can, and that's why I don't have a lot of friends. Because everybody is not my friend. Somebody said to me one time, and it ticked me off maybe a month or 2 ago, like, you just mad because I tell you about yourself and your other friends don't. And I was like, nah. I said, but I don't put my friends in positions where they have to, number one. And number 2, you don't know what relationship I have, because T-Mac tears the skin off my back. If something is not right, my daddy, the first person in my life, my chief apostle tears the skin off my neck. If I come incorrect and he sees it, and somebody, or even heard of it. So it's accountability. So I'm saying that to say, if you're my friend, you can tell me about myself. But I think this has to be the lesson that people take away from this today. Your friend should be able to check you and say,
absolutely.
And you should be able to go to them and ask them. I lowered myself to my kids and was like, look, what y'all see?
I really was scared. I ain't gonna lie. I was like, why is she asking us this? Like, this is a trick question. But she was like, no, I'm serious. And I'm like, nah, man, I ain't about to get popped. No.
I said no.
But you gotta pick and choose with you, though.
Yeah, I was scared.
You gotta pick and choose with you.
But I'm open. If I come there and I take off and I'm naked, which I was, if I'm naked, I'm ready to take whatever you gotta give me. And now if you come and offer that to me, if you just come and offer your opinion, it's gonna be something.
The
like
energy was real.
Without allowing me to know where's this coming from, because I'd be like, where is this coming from? Like,
I think
if the love is there, it's not gonna feel like a check.
It's not.
It's gonna feel like a buildup. I don't know the situation with you and the sister, but the things that you told her about herself, you probably knew that within the first 5 days of knowing her, but you ain't get a chance to tell her about herself till 2 years later. What's going on with all that time in between? We hanging out and drinking and watching the games and all that kind of stuff. What kind of real intimacy? Not sex, but what kind of real intimacy was taking place within them 2 years? What are we doing? We having these fake relationships, man. And that's what I go in on, especially because the son, I'm on that second half of my life. So I don't want no fake people around me.
I don't have the energy.
You smiling and grinning and down in your heart, man, where your spirit resides, you ain't feeling Batman. So don't front. Tell me straight up how you feel. If we gonna continue to rock together, pull me to the side and say, look, Batman, you think you know too much, da-da-da-da-da-da. And I'm gonna say, wow, I didn't even know that. That's what me and Wisdom did. Took him to the side and say, look, we gonna talk about it or we gonna come to blows. Couldn't find out we weren't the same individual. Had no clue of that before that conversation.
It's uncomfortable, but you have to have it. Like, there are things that hurt to hear. And, honestly, that's the stuff that I want to know, though. Like, I don't want you to harbor nothing on your heart about me. I don't want to come around and cause you to be in anguish or distressed. I don't want my presence to be that for you, even my kids. Now, it's a lot of stuff that, because they're some of my kids are emotional. Right, and they hear more than what you're saying. You understand? So I have to. It's a long conversation between me and London because I have to make sure that I don't build that up. Like, and she comes in the room. She come in the room like this because my conversations are harsh with her. But I have to tell her, like, no, it ain't like that.
I came a long way, though. Hold on. I came a long way, y'all. Hold on. I came a long way. All right.
I'm just gonna give you your flowers, child.
Come on, give me my flowers on Valentine's Day, Galentine's Day. Give me my flowers. I came a long way.
You did. But it's just,
yeah. I agree with y'all.
And I pray that whenever you bear children, that you will be able to pass. I know you will be able to pass at least some of that. And I can't wait to see. Okay, y'all. We got 4 minutes before we get up out of here. Like we really never got into into my topic in its entirety, but I like the organic flow of everything. So I want everybody to kind of give how they think today went in the last 4 minutes and tell people how they can find you on social media or wherever you got going on. We'll start with you, PJ.
Overall, I think this conversation was much needed. I think the people that was watching the show and participated in the conversation was much needed. We need more like this. Like you said, we don't have enough men meetings. We don't have enough conversations like this, period. So I appreciate that. Thank you for allowing me to be on the show today. Thank you for letting me be in your presence. Thank you for letting me be in your presence. If you want to follow me, I do motivational speaking, captions, all that. Underscore Mr. Coleman on Instagram, underscore Mr. Coleman on TikTok.
Thank you. Come on.
I thought I was gonna go last. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
The Batman.
I feel as though, as I was saying or trying to say the entire show, is that the foundation of all these problems that we are constantly talking about that white folk do, such and such getting shot, or this thing being passed, anything that white people do to get over on us, that we should cease trying to hear or go into any of that. And we should focus our concentration on how we communicate to one another. We got to get to a point where we don't care how white folk move, that we need to strictly concentrate on how we move. That's going to build our power up. If not, I'm going to continue hating you niggas, man. that's where I'm at with it.
And that's that on that.
On Uncle Ruckus.
The black man and woman have to reconcile. They have to get to a point where we really sit and bare our broken soul to each other. I can go on for that for hours. I'll stop. Yeah.
Okay. Come on, London.
I guess I did take a lot out of today's conversation. It did help me learn from the other side of y'all's generations. It's two generations. It was definitely helpful because I see hearing that, it's like, whoa, so that's what y'all see. Or on my end with my generation, I see a lot of power. I see a lot of fight with my generation specifically, and the being tactful, as you guys say, having the correct tools, and literally, I think that the conversations that you always put together with the younger generation and the older generation are helpful ways. And I think that we should keep on bouncing ideas back and forth off of each other and having these conversations to bridge the gap so that no more mistakes can, reoccur. If we know better, we'll do better. So I think conversations like this need to happen between the generations. You guys can follow me on Black Crystal Cosplay. That's on Facebook. That's on Instagram. And that is also on TikTok. No underscores, no nothing. Literally, Black Crystal Cosplay. I'm an artist. I create wigs. I do all the stuff. And I still talk about black issues and everything, too. So if you're a black artist and you want to collab, let me know.
Well, thank you guys for coming in today. Please be on the lookout, everybody. Tone will be back next week. Please be on the lookout for Real Talk Uncensored on the road. That show is going to happen. Please be on the lookout for the relationship session that I am putting together. And it's the hard questions and the hard answers, and it requires hard truth and a hard introspective look at your motherfucking self. I'm Kiki. This is Real Talk Uncensored. We'll see y'all next week. Love y'all. Peace.
All right,
Peace.